CJ Carr, Jeremiyah Love, and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish right in the win streak take on Mason Heinschel and the Pittsburgh Panthers. Now, this is a game where Pitt is out of the conference, so does this impact fully their college football playoff hopes? It doesn't. Everything is out in front of them. They've got the looming game with Georgia Tech as well as Miami at the end of the season. So everything is out in front of them for them to go on, win those two games, as well as get into the ACC title game and come out. For Notre Dame, this game is pivotal. They have to win out. They need to get to 10-2 because there is no ACC title game for them. They're not a part of anything. They're just a part of the college football playoff conversation, and as of right now, if they win out, they are in the playoff. It's all that simple for them. This is a team led by the best running back in college football, Jeremiyah Love, proving to everybody once again just how dangerous he is, that he could have a decent game brewing, making some strides, and then bam, out of nowhere, he can strike the play where he's not fully down. His butt's just off the ground. He scampers for 50 yards, and Notre Dame thrashes Navy. Now, it helps when you've got a team that's just incapable of a forward pass. This was not really a fair fight. Notre Dame's offense, far too much for what Navy could do defensively, but you got to love what you had from CJ Carr. Very efficient, 13 of 16 on the day. That's closing in on a 70% completion percentage. 220 yards, 3 touchdowns, didn't turn it over. That's exactly the type of efficiency that you'll need against Pitt. Now, why this game is very important for Pitt is because you're going to see a team in Notre Dame that's of the same caliber as GT. It's of the same caliber as Miami at the end of the season. If you can go out there and first of all, compete, show that you can do good enough stopping the run, and you know that you're looking at a guy in Haynes King in a couple of weeks now that you're going to have to stop. Part of that run game and elements of physicality. This Notre Dame team prides themselves on how physical that they can be, imposing their will on other programs. Their game against Miami at the beginning of the season, they really worked to do that. Miami was just a little bit too tough with Bain and Mesidor. Against Texas A&M, it was a little bit of a different style, and Texas A&M, they aired it out and they got it done over the top. So what does Pitt have to offer to be able to attack this Notre Dame secondary? Frankly, I don't see a lot of really good opportunities. This is a Notre Dame secondary that is truly one of the best in the sense of talent in the country with what they've got in Gray and more. I love these defensive backs and these corners. They're still young. Leonard Moore, in my opinion, is probably the best corner in the game. I know a lot of people talk about Mansour Delane, but I like this man, Leonard Moore, on the outside. He's phenomenal. You saw him do a great job against Makai Lemon a couple of weeks ago in USC, probably the most talented wideout he's gone up against. I know he faced Tony early in the year for, did he? Against Miami, did he? I can't even, man, that game was so long ago, I can't even think back to the health of the status. But in any sense, this is a large game for Notre Dame to really establish, I think, that identity as a defense once again and to limit Pitt. I like Notre Dame in this game, despite the recent success from Pitt that they've had and ability to throw the football down the field. I don't like how much Heinschel's turn the football over. He's got a propensity to do that, to throw interceptions at times. Notre Dame, as a defense overall, I mean, they would have liked a little bit more just tackles for loss. That's what I was looking to say there. They wanted to get a little bit more activity against other opponents that they've faced earlier in the season, like Miami or like Texas A&M. They just didn't do a great job getting after the quarterback. In this game against Pitt, where you have another ranked opponent, it's going to be pivotal to get pressure on them. You're going to have to rely on those defensive linemen, on different exotic pressures. I'm not exactly sure what the best approach for this one is because you've got a quarterback that does have the ability to be mobile, that can move around, that has relied on his legs throughout the season, that has had success with it. In the game against Stanford, he had 8 carries for only 20 yards, but he's still mobile enough. For Notre Dame, I just need to see pressure on the quarterback. I'm still trying to evaluate Notre Dame to see, is this team a legitimate title contender, or are they just a fun story to get into the playoff, running in the last 10 games before they get a home game and they can win at South Bend, but they go anywhere else and that's a loss in the quarterfinals, and they don't realistically have a shot to go deeper? Because I believe that's the sentiment on Notre Dame, is that this team can get into the postseason, but they don't have what it takes to be able to compete with A&M again, or to beat Bama, or to beat Georgia again for that matter. Notre Dame doesn't shy away from another matchup with any of those teams, I don't think. I think that narrative's a little bit wacky. If you can run the football and you can cover well and you're tough and stout up front, you can play with anybody if your quarterback doesn't turn the football over and he's enough to manage the game. This is a very dangerous Notre Dame football team, especially with now the wide receiving talent. This is the best Notre Dame passing attack I've ever seen in my lifetime. There's no doubt about it. It makes the Riley Leonard offense look very, what's the best way to phrase this? Very far below the capabilities of what CJ Carr can do throwing the football. Nothing at all wrong with Riley Leonard. I loved him as a player. He's got the heart of a champion. But this offense with Malachi Fields and Faison and Love out of the backfield is just frankly so dangerous. They had these types of players a year ago, but right now of what they can do with CJ Carr operating the offense is to another level. It adds an extra dimension. And then, of course, CJ Carr this year has played in those big games. When you play in those ranked matchups against A&M as well as against Miami, you've already been there and seen it. So I've got Notre Dame coming out with a win for this game. I'm confident they can win this game by 2 scores, 34-20. This team is humming on all cylinders right now. It's been working for them the last couple of weeks. Basically the last 6-7 weeks overall. They've just been steamrolling programs. USC was really the only game that was somewhat up in doubt until the second half. Jadarian Price takes the return for a touchdown, and then the result is pretty much known after they get the stop on fourth down against the Trojans. I think they got 2 stops on fourth down in that game there in the early stages of that fourth quarter. So if Notre Dame runs into a team with more capabilities on the outside that have the balance between the run and pass, then that is a dangerous program. But I don't think that there's 6 teams right now that legitimately are better than Notre Dame. So in that sense, without a doubt, they get a home playoff game. Got a straight chance to win that if they're able to win out. And looking at their schedule, Pitt, this is the last real dangerous game that they have there. They've got Syracuse at home, then Stanford. So realistically, you are really looking at a Notre Dame team that can go 10-2. Can't believe I'm saying this after 0-2 and the way that felt and everything people were saying about them, that you just had to look at who they played, the way that they played, that there's still the whole year out in front of them. They've done everything that they've needed to. They've responded the same way they did a year ago after the loss to Northern Illinois. For Pitt, I don't want to take anything away from this game. It's just there's so much left for this season with their game against Georgia Tech that it comes down to that, and then the game against Miami sort of just it hinges. Whether or not they even lose to Georgia Tech, I believe there still is a path for them to get into the ACC title game, even if they lost to GT in that game next week. So I do think Notre Dame, 34-20, they get this win against Pitt, expecting a very strong run performance, the exact style we've seen from Notre Dame the last 2 months, really overall, and that this team can get the win on the road. So I appreciate you so much. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe for more content in the future. I make NFL and college videos every week, getting you guys set for these big matchups. It's November now. Pitt, Notre Dame, this matchup. We're excited. 2 teams absolutely in the thick of it for the college football playoff race. 2 programs that want to beat each other, that have a ton of excitement brewing right now, that have played very good football. So excited for this one. You should be too. If you have not already, please subscribe for more Blitz of Blender content in the future. I'm Josh Blender, making these college and NFL videos every week. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.